Hi, it's Ellie, and you probably knew me from one of my hostess videos. If you don't, hi. I am a Japanese hostess. I've got a few questions from the video, so I'm gonna answer the most common questions for you guys. So I'm just gonna answer some of your questions about my job as a hostess. So my answers are just based on experience, and I don't really mind if you judge me or because I don't know, you're not paying my bills, I guess. Also, I really appreciate all the comments I get on my first video coming out as a hostess. I see you guys, I read your comments. And although there would always be people who will judge me, I've been judged throughout my whole life, so it doesn't really bother me. I'm really happy that there are more positive comments. Thank you very much. I got some questions that I don't want to answer it here because it's gonna be very specific, like how much does a hostess usually make? So that would be in another video. So let me answer some questions for you guys. Are you half Filipina, half Japanese? Yes, I am. Half Filipina, half Japanese. I grew up in the Philippines until I turned 16 and graduated high school. Most of my life I spent in the Philippines, although it doesn't really make any difference now because I'm already in my 30s. I'm turning 30 because I got here at 16 and then I turned 17. So yeah, 13 years here in Japan, I guess. Do you really want to be a hostess? No. I never really wanted to be a hostess. At first, I didn't have the choice. How to explain this? The story of how I started, it's kind of complicated. Long story short, I have to support my family. I was brought up in a Filipino household and I was conformed to thinking that since pinalaki ka ng parents mo, pag kaya mo na magtrabaho, dapat ikaw naman ang magbalik. I was conformed to this Filipino mindset. It's called utang na loob. I'm trying to say this in a nice way, but so it went off bad at first. Deep inside me, I didn't really want to be a hostess, but I really need to start working so I could work for my family. Because my dad can't really work anymore. He's already in his 80s. He's not physically able to work. So that's where my mom is left. I still had my sister and my grandma who were in the Philippines that time. So I had to work, but I didn't know any Japanese. And I had to live in Japan. Hence, I started working as a hostess. But I'm trying to get a different job. I know I'm gonna have more opportunities. Like most jobs, can you see yourself doing hostessing in 5 years' time? Or do you have aspirations for something else? I don't see myself being a hostess after 5 years. I think I would quit very soon actually. But the reason why I posted that video is I wanted to feel like I finally accepted myself and that this is who I was and that this is who I am. That just because it's the job I'm doing right now doesn't mean that I couldn't be anything else. So I just wanted to feel that being a hostess wouldn't take the power of being who I really am away from me. So that's why I posted that video. But I also want to feel that the hostess videos I'm making is something that I can look back to and realize that I want being a hostess to be the reason why I'm a content creator right now, rather than the other way around. I just want to be someone who keeps on creating. And hostessing has been a huge part of my life, even though I've been denying myself that that's not who I am. But I see it as more of a stepping stone than a long life career, obviously. But maybe in the future, I want to be fully focused in creating something I love, whether it's content creation or business or something I'm passionate about. Right now, I love sharing my experiences and traveling and traveling and creating content, especially with people who are curious with Japan and what life is like here. So I love to grow that into something bigger. I'm just trying to take the right steps to get there. Once you're older and have been in this industry a long while, how do you plan to transition to a family life? Do you suspect it will impact you on what you're willing to find as a compatible match? What do you think your partner in life will say when you share your life choices with them? I think transitioning from this industry to a settled life is different for everyone. Some hostesses get married and leave, and like some move into different careers, and some they balance both. Personally, I don't see myself in this job long term, and I'm already working on myself to go forward to the next step. I guess by the time I'm ready to do the full transition, I hope I'm already set up for the next step. I don't know. We don't really know what's gonna happen. I never expected to be a hostess, so I actually already have a partner, and I know he's not a fan of my job, but he knows that I'm not going to do this job forever. We've had personal challenges, but my work is just a part of who I am. So I don't approach hostessing the same way a lot of others do. I just see this as a stepping stone as I focus building another chapter of my life. So when it's time to move on, I'll be ready. So this one is, did you grow up in Cebu? No, I did not grow up in Cebu. I only went to Cebu last year as for travel. So no. So how does your father perceive your hostess job? Oh, he knows. He knows I'm a hostess. Well, he's Japanese, and he met my mom as a hostess, and my parents, they actually introduced me to the job. My mom's friend was working at a club. So my mom's friend was working at a lounge. She asked her if I could work at the lounge. And so that's how it happened. Also, he used to work at an agency that recruits international talents or hostesses. It's not something my parents deem as shameful. How did you meet your boyfriend, and did he feel any anxiety about you doing hostess work, as there's so much interactions with men who are drinking, which has risks and stuff? Actually, I met him when I was a manager at a mixed bar. Mixed bar is like, it's very similar to LGBT bars. Yeah, that's how I met him. I met him because his friend called him, and his friend is a customer at my bar. And his friend was like having trouble with someone who was trying to like flirt with her or something. And that's why he came to the bar, and that's how I met him. Yeah. Since hostesses are usually young, at what age do women typically stop, and what do they do after their hostess careers? Like I said earlier, they do different things. Like I said earlier, there will be hostesses who will stop and change a different career, or they also get offered if they want to be a mama or if they want to open their own club. There's not really an age limit of being a hostess, because I've met a lot of hostesses who are like in their 60s, 70s even. But that's already like mama level. What's the best and worst part about being a hostess? Oh, I also want to do a separate video on that, but I could say the best part about it is money and time. And if you're smart about it, you can use this as a stepping stone to make something bigger. I want my partner. So worst part is dealing with drunk men. And the emotional labor of always staying on, like always smiling and stuff like that. Because it can also be exhausting if you're not mentally strong. You're constantly balancing real and fake interactions. I'm the type of person who is very honest, and being very honest will either make or break you with this job. There would be guests who likes honest people, and there would be guests who would rather be in like the fantasy. So sometimes hostesses don't really have a choice who they'll be seated to that day. How does this job affect dating? It can make relationships difficult, but it depends on the partner, depends on the person and their partner. Some men aren't comfortable with their girlfriend talking with other men for work. Some don't care as long as they have clear boundaries. It also depends on how serious the relationship is. Some hostesses they date casually, they even date their customers, while others have long-term partners who trust them. When I'm in a relationship, I don't do dohan or see customers outside the shop. So it's not as complicated, but I've seen all types of situations. Some hostesses date customers, like some marry rich clients, some just like keep their work and love life separate. There would be some hostesses who would tell me that they just had a fight with their boyfriend because they found out that they had dinner with a customer outside the shop. So I've seen all of that dating. I think it's about finding someone who trusts you and understands you, no matter what job you do. Question, can you work nightlife as a foreigner? I thought foreigners can't. Also, I want to move to Japan. You got any tips on where to start? Yes, you can. There would be foreigner clubs because there are Japanese people who likes to go to foreigner clubs, like different foreigner clubs. There's Philippine pubs and clubs where there's like different hostesses from different countries. If you're on a regular work visa, then no, you can't legally work in nightlife. But if you have permanent residency, a spouse visa, or Japanese nationality, then it's fine. A lot of people think all foreigners are banned from the nightlife jobs, but it really depends on your visa status. As for moving to Japan, it depends on what kind of work you're looking for. So if you're serious about moving, I suggest you look for jobs on sites like, I'm not really sure, but Gaijin Pot or LinkedIn, and seeing what fits your skills. But typically, if you want to work at the nightlife job, there's like different kinds of visa requirements you need to do. For example, an entertainment visa or other work visas. And typically, you need to have an offer from the bar before applying for a visa. And usually, the employer will assist you with the visa requirements. While it's not a legal requirement, I would suggest you learn Japanese before you start working. Yeah, so I think that's all I could answer at the moment. I know you guys have more questions about me. And that wraps up today's Q&A. I hope I was able to clear up some questions for you about being a hostess and some personal things about me. Don't forget to sub, because I've heard people forgetting to sub even though they really like the video. Also, feel free to drop any more questions and I'll make sure to get back to you. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.